How is it going, everyone, and welcome back to yet another video on the channel. And as you guys can see from the title and thumbnail, today I'm going to be showcasing with you guys my final 2020 NHL mock draft rankings, as the draft is coming up this Tuesday, October the 6th, I believe, and I cannot be more excited. This is such a deep draft, and there's been so much speculation based on where the players will go in which order. So today I'm going to be sharing my insight where I feel the players will end up, and I've already done 2 videos like this in the past, so make sure you check those out as well and compare them to these rankings. They're probably pretty similar, but a few adjustments here and there. Anyways, with that being said, let's get right into the video. Now, starting off this list with the 10th overall pick, I have the Winnipeg Jets selecting Seth Jarvis from the WHL. And the reason I've chosen Seth Jarvis for the Winnipeg Jets is because of how desperately in need the Jets are of a centerman who can play a two-way game in the NHL. And we made quite a few videos recently talking a little bit about how the Jets have put a couple of offers to the table. Obviously, guys like Patrick Laine have been on the trade block, and hopes that they could get a top 6 centerman in return for that. But as we can see, they haven't really gotten what they've wanted just yet, which allows me to allude to the draft. I think that taking a centerman in this deep draft could be a very safe bet and something that could really help them 1-2 years down the road. Obviously, acquiring a guy like Jarvis right here wouldn't make an immediate impact, but honestly, with 1 to 2 years of development, this guy could really slide into a top 6 role in the NHL and could really do a difference. This guy really reminds me of Bo Horvat with his game in the center role, and I feel like he could be a very, very good player that could honestly really be one of the puzzle pieces that the Jets have needed for quite a long time. So that's why I've chosen Seth Jarvis to be the number 10 pick. Now, moving on to the number 9 pick, I have the Minnesota Wild selecting Anton Lundell from Liga. And the reason I've chosen Anton Lundell to go to the Wild is because I feel like it would just be such a cool mixture of European superstar forwards that would be forming on this sort of rebuilding Wild team. Obviously, Fiala had his whole breakout season last year where he just went crazy, and now we have Kirill Kaprizov coming on from the Russian side, and then now adding a guy like Anton Lundell would just be absolutely deadly, and it would just make up for an absolutely deadly European combo from these 3 players. That would be so sick. And honestly, Anton Lundell is such a speedy player, one of the most creative in this draft, and I feel like he's a huge X factor, as you know, there is a bit of a risk to reward to getting this guy, but I feel like he's just irresistible. If you look at this guy's skating and his overall puck movement, it's just so cool to see. And honestly, whoever gets this guy will be a steal, because I saw a lot of analysts talk to this guy or talk about this guy to go outside of the top 10, and to that I say, that's stupid. You should not be discrediting this guy's absolute sheer work ethic, and I feel like passing up on this guy in a top 10 position would just be silly. Honestly, I was debating whether or not to put Askarov in this position, but you know, I can't resist this guy, and Anton Lundell definitely deserves to be in the top 10. So Anton Lundell's going number 9. Debate closed, case closed. Let's move on to the next pick. Now, moving on to the number 8 pick, I have Cole Perfetti getting selected to the Buffalo Sabres. And you're probably sitting there thinking, why would Cole Perfetti drop to 8? He's been talked about by everyone in the media. Wouldn't this guy go higher? And honestly, to that I say, yes, he could possibly go higher. At this point in the draft, it's all up in the air. You look at analyst mock drafts, you look at YouTubers mock drafts, they're all different. There's none that are like actually the same clear cut. From this 8 to like 4 position, there's just a bunch of players that could go anywhere, and I feel like it's such a toss up, and I feel like the only reason I'm putting Cole Perfetti this low is because of his height, and you have to take that into account. A lot of GMs get scared at shorter players that they might not be able to hold their own in a league like the NHL, but I feel like Cole Perfetti is still skilled enough to be top 10 in this draft, but just not better than a couple players that are above him. So for that reason, Cole Perfetti number 8 to the Buffalo Sabres. Still a very strong player, will add a really good scoring touch, but yeah, no, he's going number 8. Now, moving on to the number 7 pick, I have the New Jersey Devils selecting Jamie Drysdale. And here, it's another one that's really up in the air. I feel like Jamie Drysdale is also in that mix of that 8 to 4-ish range of players that could just go anywhere. And I feel like Drysdale just sort of falls under the next 2 players that are on my list, just because, you know, I feel like they're just a bit better than him. And it's just, it's so close. It could go either way. I think I had Drysdale like 5th or 4th or something before this, but honestly, I think that he could go either way. It's just shifting all around, and this is just a guess, honestly. I feel like the New Jersey Devils would go for a defenseman. Obviously, the last couple of drafts, they have gone for forwards. So I feel like going for a defenseman would be smart from them. And I feel like go for no one else other than Jamie Drysdale as the best defenseman in this draft. So I think it's a clear-cut winner for me that Drysdale would go over here unless he gets taken closer, which it's kind of unpredictable at this point. We're just going to have to wait and see. And anyways, with that being said, with the number 6 pick, I have the Anaheim Ducks selecting Alexander Holtz. And honestly, Holtz is such a good player. I mean, there's nothing really else to it. He's in the SHL. He has such a complete game. And honestly, the fact that he's playing with men, the fact that he's so strong on the puck, just edges him over guys like Cole Perfetti, like Jamie Drysdale. He's been playing with men. He's used to this. I feel like this guy's much more NHL ready than the guys who I have stated below earlier. So I feel like that's why he takes the cake over them. And he's a bit stronger, a bit more of a complete player. And I know I'm repeating myself, but honestly, I've been gushing over this guy since day one. He's been such a good player, and I love Swedish players so much, but yeah, no, this guy's a really special player. The Ducks are going to have a very good prospect pool after this draft, I already know. If it's not Alexander Holtz, it's going to be someone else who's very good, but they also have guys like Trevor Zegras and Tracy who are also really good players, and if they add a guy like Holtz, that would just complete their forward rebuild. That would be so sick for them. But honestly, yeah, that's pretty much all I really have to say about Holtz. He's just such a strong player who's fast, can score, good eye in the net, and good hockey IQ. Overall, a very solid pick. Now, moving on to the 5th overall pick, I have the Ottawa Senators with their 2nd selection in this draft, taking Lucas Raymond. And the reason I choose Raymond over Holtz isn't because I feel like one is better than the other. If anything, I think they're pretty interchangeable, but there have been a couple of rumors to the Ottawa Senators really liking Lucas Raymond's game and just eyeing him in general. So I think that if he was available at that 5th overall pick, which he probably will be unless the Detroit Red Wings take him, would probably be the guy that they go for. So I think that Lucas Raymond would go 5th overall. Overall, just a very skilled player, very solid addition, and honestly, the fact that this is the Ottawa Senators' 2nd pick in this draft is something else. They're going to have one of the best prospect pools coming out of this draft, no doubt. So yeah, the fact that they are able to take 2 players in this top 5 is crazy. So yeah, what a draft to take it in as well. But yeah, no, Lucas Raymond going number 5. Now, moving on to the 4th overall selection, I have the Detroit Red Wings selecting Marco Rossi with that pick. And I actually made a whole video talking about why I think that the Red Wings should acquire Marco Rossi in the first place. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure to go check it out. It'll be in the link in the description below. I thought it was a pretty good video going in a really in-depth analysis on Marco Rossi and how he will be one of the key building blocks on the Detroit Red Wings rebuild. And I feel like he's one of those guys that will really set them in the right direction. He's not going to put them from 31st in the NHL to like a wild card team or whatever, right? But he's going to be one of those players that's going to be putting them on the right track to success. And I feel like you started off with getting a guy with such a complete game like Marco Rossi. So unless one of the top 3 players that I'm about to select are still available, take Marco Rossi, take him. Honestly, going with Lucas Raymond wouldn't be that bad of an option, but I feel like Marco Rossi has already proved himself a bit more, which is why I have him at the 4th overall selection. But taking that into account, if these next 2 players are available, take them instead, but otherwise take Marco Rossi. So Marco Rossi is going 4th overall. That's what I think. Now, moving into the 3rd overall pick in this draft, I have the Ottawa Senators with their first selection in this entry draft to select Quinton Byfield. Crazy, I know I switched it up from the last time I did a mock draft. The last time I had Tim Stützle going 3rd overall. This time I have Quinton Byfield. And honestly, the reason for that is kind of unclear to me as well. Honestly, I don't know why I really switched up my mind, but I just had to go with my gut this time. And I feel like, not that Tim Stützle is a better player than Quinton Byfield, but I just think that the Kings will go with Tim Stützle over him, which is crazy, I know, but why are we talking about Tim Stützle? Let's talk about Byfield and just how crazy it is that him and the top 5 player or the 5th overall player will go to the Ottawa Senators. It's going to be absolutely crazy. I cannot believe that the Ottawa Senators fleeced the Sharks this hard. It's crazy to think, and the fact that they're going to walk away with 2 of these top 5 players. I know I've said it like 15 times already, but just trying to wrap my head around that is crazy. They're going to be insane in a couple years. But yeah, no, Quinton Byfield, still a really good player, 6'4", had a really good season this year, but I think he falls a little bit short to Tim Stützle at number 2. So anyways, moving on from Quinton Byfield, let's go to Tim Stützle at number 2. But yeah, no, I don't know what it is, man, but the German players, they've really been developing their system there, and it's just gotten really good. They got Drysdale, they had Sider last year, this year Tim Stützle, Bach, you know, a lot of good players, and, you know, it's just, you have to give them credit for that. You know, Germany's not a team that really speaks hockey to me, but they're really starting to turn it around. In a couple of years, their national team could be pretty good. But yeah, no, it's just my gut. I feel like the Los Angeles Kings will go with Stützle over Byfield, just for some odd reason. Obviously, I'm not confirming anything. This is just my opinion. This is a really interchangeable one. So let me know in the comment section below for question of the day. Will you put Tim Stützle over Quinton Byfield or vice versa? That's what I really want to know. But anyways, I think we're going to end off this talk about Tim Stützle Byfield. Without further ado, let's move on to the first overall pick. And yeah, going first overall, if it wasn't obvious enough, it's Alexis Lafrenière. Do I even need to say anything about this man? I've put him number 1 for my 3 mock drafts that I've done this year. You know, without a doubt. If the Rangers pass up on Alexis Lafrenière, it would be one of the stupidest mistakes of all time. This guy's a guaranteed star. And honestly, whichever team this guy goes to, obviously it will be the Rangers, but this guy can make any team just excel. Honestly, the Red Wings would be so much better, and I understand their pain right now because they were that close to getting Alexis Lafrenière. Even after losing the league by a mile, they still ended up with the 4th overall pick, so you could only feel sad for them. But yeah, no, Alexis Lafrenière to the Rangers is going to be sick. I can already see them trying to acquire other players in free agency to just build up their repertoire of just sick players. But anyways, that's probably going to end it. I have nothing really else to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys all thought of this video, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.